One drop of blood. That was the promise. No massive needles, no drawing heavy vials from your arm, just a single prick of the finger to detect everything from high cholesterol to cancer and HIV. In 2003, a 19-year-old student dropped out of Stanford University to turn that promise into reality. Her name was Elizabeth Holmes, and the company she founded was Theranos. She carefully cultivated an image designed to appeal to Silicon Valley. She adopted a deep, commanding baritone speaking voice and wore a uniform of stark black turtlenecks. The tech world quickly hailed her as the next Steve Jobs. This chart shows the financial result of that persona. In just over a decade, Theranos spiked from $0 to $9 billion, making Holmes the youngest self-made female billionaire in history by 2014. But behind the secure doors of her laboratories, the proprietary blood testing machine, codenamed the Edison, remained locked away from the scientists who were supposed to use it. The industry was entirely seduced by the narrative of a young, visionary founder. They poured billions into the company without ever asking to see actual peer-reviewed medical science verifying that the device worked. Compare a standard blood draw to a microscopic finger prick drop. You simply lack enough liquid to run hundreds of analyses. Furthermore, squeezing a finger bursts tissue cells, introducing interstitial fluid that heavily contaminates the blood sample before it even hits the machine. Bound by these unchangeable laws of physics, extracting accurate results for over 200 distinct tests from that tiny contaminated smear was impossible. The Edison machine was just total vaporware. If a piece of software is broken, developers can patch the code overnight. In biology, however, no amount of late-night programming can rewrite the laws of fluid dynamics. To keep this biological failure hidden, Holmes and her partner Sunny Balwani ran Theranos like a spy agency. Employees were strictly forbidden from discussing their work, and anyone who raised a scientific concern was immediately fired. When partnering with Walgreens, Theranos secretly bypassed the broken Edison entirely. This schematic illustrates adding diluting liquid to artificially expand the tiny finger prick samples. The diluted blood was then routed away from the Edison, feeding directly into massive traditional laboratory machines, modified for smaller vials. Modifying medical equipment to run improperly diluted samples crossed the boundary between a tech failure and a coordinated fraud operation. How could the world's most powerful, intelligent men invest hundreds of millions of dollars without demanding basic scientific proof? The board of directors included titans of statecraft, starting with former Secretary of State Henry Kissinger. Sitting beside him was George Shultz. These were men trained at the highest levels of global intelligence, yet they completely missed a massive fraud operating directly inside their own boardroom. They succumbed to extreme investor fear of missing out. They wanted so desperately to be part of the next genius narrative that they abandoned all fundamental due diligence. Tyler Shultz, the grandson of board member George Shultz, recognized the danger and decided to risk his family ties to become a whistleblower. Theranos responded with massive legal retaliation. They deployed armies of corporate lawyers, threatening Tyler with financial ruin to try and silence him and kill the impending story. But Wall Street Journal investigative reporter John Carreyrou pushed straight through those threats. In 2015, he published the expose that finally revealed to the world that the Edison technology was a complete failure. An empire held together entirely by non-disclosure agreements and legal intimidation will inevitably collapse when faced with rigorous, evidence-based journalism. While investors lost $9 billion, the damage to human health was far more significant. Because Theranos was running improperly diluted blood through modified machines, thousands of ordinary patients received fabricated medical data. People were told they had HIV, active cancer, or were suffering miscarriages based on faulty tests they believed were revolutionary. The company dissolved entirely in 2018. The justice system stepped in, handing down severe criminal sentences, over 11 years in federal prison for Elizabeth Holmes, and nearly 13 years for Sunny Balwani. This contrast marks the transition from the icon of the black turtleneck to the reality of the prison uniform. Silicon Valley often rewards those who fake it until they make it with software.
Let's discuss that in the comments section. And as always, thanks for watching Alux Live. Subscribe for more.